Okay, I'm not going to tell you what's in these articles because I'd like for you to look yourself. But I will tell you that there's controversy about where water comes from. In your book, it says that early scientists believe, or scientists believe, that water came from volcanoes when there was a lot of volcanic activity on the young Earth, 3.5 billion years ago. But other scientists, as you'll see in these articles, have strong evidence that water actually could not have existed on the early Earth because it was just too hot, and that rather later water was deposited on the Earth's surface during a period of intense asteroid activity. So it was brought here by comets. So once y'all look that up, discuss it. But the bottom line is there's still controversy about where water originally came from. It's very interesting. But the bottom line is that we know water is necessary for life. All right, so however water got here to our planet, it is critical for the life as we know it. That's why when people go looking for extraterrestrial life, they're always looking for evidence of water because it's such an essential part of life as we know it. And one of the biggest human tragedies, as a matter of fact, in the modern world is when people don't have clean drinking water because it is so essential for life. You'll hear news reports of people surviving a natural disaster, but then the next most deadly threat is the water. Would their water be contaminated, and will they no longer have clean drinking water? And then the aftermath of natural disasters, a lot of times you see a lot of human suffering due to lack of clean water. And this is just one example. You can see here, this man is obviously walking in water. Looks like his where he lives was flooded, but what is he carrying? He's actually cradling 2 bottles of fresh water. So even though he's surrounded by water, what he needs and probably his family needs to survive are this critical clean drinking water. Okay, so so water is necessary as life as we know it. It's very, very important. Clean water in particular is important. Normally we see pictures like this. We don't, if we think of in the United States, we don't think of people normally desperately seeking water as in all these situations here. But we just take for granted that we have healthy water supply in public spaces such as drinking fountains inside and outside, and or bottled water readily available. So the goal of this chapter then is just to think more critically about water, and in particular, where does the water that we drink come from? Okay, because obviously here in the U.S. we have plenty of it. So providing clean drinking water is a major public health issue, and for the stability of any government, you need to provide your citizens with clean drinking water. So in the United States here, we have basically 2 sources, depending on where you live, of water. So our water comes from, now that we take, it's on the earth, 2 major sources, either groundwater or surface water. And surface water would be considered, lakes or rivers or reservoirs. And then, let's see. The groundwater doesn't mean water on top of the ground. It means water underground. So ground meaning underground. So whenever you hear people talk about groundwater, they're talking about underground water. And the underground water is held in what's called an aquifer. It's just a natural place underground where water collects. It's normally trapped in sand and gravel, so it's a pool of water that's trapped underground. In sand or gravel, and it's typically, aquifers are typically 50 to 500 feet underground. And here's a huge aquifer here, all the way from Texas, all the way on up through Colorado. And this particular, and Oklahoma, this particular Aquifer provides a lot of drinking water for all the surrounding areas to this particular underground water. Here in Central Texas, we have the Edwards Aquifer that provides drinking water to a lot of residents in the San Antonio and Austin area. We also have reservoirs along the Colorado River, so that provide drinking water for the areas north of Austin. So anyway, these are the two major sources. Now, aquifer water, as it is, because of the fact that the water has trickled down through the ground to get there, by going down through the ground, there's a natural cleaning that occurs to the water. So normally aquifer water, that's the kind of water that you would access with a well. That's clean as it is normally. I mean, if you have a well, if you live near an aquifer or some source of groundwater, you could have your own well and pump the water right up and just drink it fresh without any further treatment. Municipalities that rely on aquifer water will treat it, and we'll talk about that later. Lakes, rivers, and reservoirs, obviously, the water is not quite as clean, and so it needs more treatment. But nevertheless, the municipalities across the United States have developed great ways of providing clean water to their citizens.